Hi everyone, I'm Dylan Michelle with TVC and TV News, here with Marty Mangello. He is a chef who's worked for the White House, he's traveled all around the world, and he's world renowned. With saying all that, take it away, Marty. I just want to
Yeah,
ask
thank
you.
you. Thank you so much for having me, Dylan, on your show and to the TBC in TV network. How you doing over there with all this snow going on?
Well, we don't have much snow here. It's kind of nice out, just a little cold. What about
Can
you?
you believe all that stuff with the cars trapped on Interstate 95 was in the news today, and they've been there trapped for 12 hours, unable to move. I'm
Uh,
glad.
I
I'm
can
glad
believe
we have
it.
sunny weather down here, right?
Yes, very glad.
Yeah. So what's going on today, man? What do we got planned for today?
So I just wanted to pick your brain on some of your experiences in the White House when you were cooking for them. I'm sure the viewers are very curious to know what that was like working there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm more than happy to share, and I do this all the time. I just got back from Washington D.C. As you know, we were talking about. I did a luncheon with presidential recipes and favorites for NAFA, the National Association of Insurance and Finance Advisors. 250 people at lunch, and they come out with the bread basket, and the first thing that they had out there. Was Mrs. Grover Cleveland's famous brown bread recipe was Little Beautiful that the Marriott Renaissance chefs did in the bread basket. And of course, everybody loved it, right?
I'm sure they did. I just wish I could taste it. Um,
Yeah.
so where did you do your apprenticeship?
Yeah, for me, so I was, very lucky. I apprenticed under three Culinary Institute of America chefs, and I worked all summer long to save up enough money to pay for my private Christian high school, which was very expensive. So, yeah, that's actually where I got my apprenticeship completed at. And they were all going to the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York. So I felt very lucky.
So what were some of the experiences, or let me say, what were some of the challenges you experienced with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes they would lie to me because they liked me so much, and get me to work like extra couple of hours. What I found out they were doing, they were going over to the clock on the wall and they were winding the hand backwards. And I kept like looking over at and this was the one chef, Lance Bacchia, who owned the restaurant with his family, Luciano's North Italian Cuisine in Long Beach Island, New Jersey.
I love them.
Uh, he he would do this because he loved like my creativity, doing the antipasto platters, doing desserts. He just loved the beauty of my creativity, and I would do like the antipasto platter. I would do the prosciutto, the ham, the provolone. I would roll it up. I would cut little pinwheels, and he'd say like, yeah, yeah. My nickname was Macho, La Mach, the macho one, which I inherited from my brother. He would say, "Hey, Lamach, do like 25 of them tonight." And I was like, "What the hell is going on?" I didn't have a watch. That was the problem. It was like, I don't have a watch. I would look over at the clock. It's like, oh, come on, man. I know it's not like still 4:30, and the whole kitchen one night exploded with laughter. Evidently, I was the only one that wasn't in on the joke. So this was how my apprenticeship went. But it was, you learn so much from. You dream about going. I mean, it could be 30, $40,000 a year to go to that school, and
Hmm.
I could never afford that.
Then how would you say that experience? How would you say your experience shaped you to become the person you are now?
Yeah, it was definitely groundbreaking. Like I was making ham and cheese the other day, and one day Lance came in and said, "That's not how you make a grilled ham and cheese sandwich." And he almost about like slapped me. Okay, like, oh, who the hell taught you how to? And so they're learning like the best ways of cookery. And Paul Bocuse, the famous French chef, sent his son there, and even the French chefs were aghast. They were like, "Sacre bleu." What a disgrace you don't send your son to learn here in Paris, like the Escoffier School or, Le Cordon Bleu, or, I mean, you are a disgrace, Paul. And he said, actually, I want to send the actual amount. I want to send my son to the best school in the world to learn cookery, and that is in Hyde Park, New York, the Culinary Institute of America. And so I was so lucky to be learning from these chefs who their parents or their family had enough money, Dylan,
Mm-hmm.
that they could go there, they could afford to go there. And when I went there, I won my way in by winning the best restaurant in the world. I won an all expense paid trip with scholarship to go there. So that was the only way 10 years later that I was able to get there.
Mm.
And it was amazing. It was like, wow, unbelievable.
Yeah. So, working at the White House, what were some meals you prepared that were some presidential favorites?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So, we have been very busy with this at the Presidential Center, doing this for quite a while, and the speeches, some 30 years now. And that's a lot of what we do. We feature the favorite recipes that we cooked in the White House from many of our friends who were White House chefs. And I think some of the new exhibits every time that we start those, with every president, like Biden came in. So people are like, oh, what's this guy like? And other people are like, who cares? I hate him. It's like, oh,
Oh no.
relax, bro. We have a Trump exhibit. We have a Biden exhibit. We have a Bush exhibit. We have an Obama exhibit. We have the Clinton exhibit, and every once in a while you meet a psychotic who's like, well, you can get rid of the following 26 exhibits, okay, and strip them out of the museum. It's like, you know what, man? You're going to like hurt yourself. You're gritting your teeth so hard together. It's wonder you haven't like snapped actually a tooth in
Yeah.
your mouth. Okay. By the way, get out. Okay. It's just ridiculous. It's like this is a museum. We're here to showcase all 46 presidents and everything they love. So Biden loves rigatoni. Jill often does it with her famous chicken parmesan. Uh, you know, when I first started working with Biden, it was in 1994.
Mm-hmm.
And that led to Childhood Hunger Day, Dylan, where a bunch of us chefs, hundreds of us, went and marched in Washington, D.C. And then that year in 1995, Pops passed a bunch of legislation in Congress to help food banks and childhood hunger. And so this stuff really does work. And I never thought that Biden would ever run for president. So, but those are some Biden favorites. Of course, they all have their favorites.
Yeah. So was he more low-key referring to Biden? How was it before and after his presidency?
Well, I mean, Pops has always been like a very guy's guy. He's had a lot of problems really fitting in with all these people trying to put your socks on. And, each man will stand on each side of you and pull the underpants up from the left and the right. And he's got this attitude of like, actually get away from me right now. No one's putting my socks on. No one's putting my underpants on, and no one's getting me a cup of coffee. He's really had a lot of problems with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's very intrusive therapeutically when you start having all these people in your bedroom and who's doing your sock drawer. And trust me, when you get married and stuff and you make some money and a person's in your wife's panty drawer and putting away the bras and touching everything, it can be intrusive to the wife as well.
Yeah.
Who's just along for the ride. It's like, who are these 96 people that work here at the White House? Who are they? And one day, Mrs. Bush, Barbara Bush, saw a lady that was cleaning in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "You're not in the book." And the lady was like terrified and split out of the housekeeper. And Barbara went through the 3-ring binder that we give them. It's a page with a photo of every person with a top secret clearance who is authorized to be on the second floor and where they are authorized to be. So that's the oval living room, the yellow oval living room. Okay, it's right above the blue room in the White House. And some people think it's above the Oval Office, but I always tell them the Oval Office is not even in the White House. Why would you think that the yellow oval living room is? It's there like it's not. I thought it was that oval, that rotunda. How can the Oval Office is not in the White House? I'm like, it's not. You have to leave the White House and go for a walk to get to that building. It's okay. It's in the West Wing. It's in a wing. Okay. But so the lady was in the yellow oval living room. And yeah, she was actually in the book. And Barbara apologized and said, oh my gosh, you are in the book. I'm sorry. And has a photo of the housekeeper or a photo of the butler. Because, out of 96 servants, not every one of them working in the house is authorized to be on the second floor or in the president's bedroom. And I was a housekeeper, Dylan. So I was in the president's bedroom. I was in their bathroom. I was in the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, obviously, put the white chef's coat on every day, cooking the meals for years, and then doing state dinners at the White House. But I actually ran the Camp David Resort and was in the president's house up at Camp David called Aspen.
Mm-hmm.
He has a massive private home up there. So.
And I love the fact that Ms. Bush apologized, because for a lot of people, actually, it's not easy for them to apologize. For someone of that stature, I commend her.
They were so nice. I mean, they were really, really, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everybody still to this day talks about how cool the Bushes were and how friendly and fun. And the Reagans were hilarious, too.
Really? I would never guess that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they were would sit there and eat TV dinners on trays while watching TV, bro. And people were like, if this ever gets out that they're eating TV dinners out of the little metal. And Nancy was like, but we like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just go get a Swanson. Send somebody out secretly. Ronnie. Yes, mommy. Send somebody out secretly to get the. It's like, people just want to be happy. Yeah. And the last thing they want to be is made fun of, Dylan, by some fancy chef downstairs in the kitchen, doing all types of stuff like this.
Yeah.
They are eating a TV dinner tonight. It's disgust. When they find out, because people will rat you out, like, hey, yeah, he talks derogatorily about you behind your back and made comments the other night, because everyone is gonna let people know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Then you're dismissed because this isn't about you as some big chef. It's about making people happy. If President Bush Jr. says he loves honey and peanut butter sandwiches, so what? Let's get one made.
I agree.
Okay. Just because you don't like it and you don't eat it and you think it's disgusting, who asked you?
Yes.
You're here to serve. It'd be no different if you hit the Powerball, this week. I think it's up to what, 551 million?
Mm-hmm.
You could call me and say, hey, Marty, we're buying a massive estate. It's 60,000 square foot. I'm going to have 3 chefs around the clock. We're building the full production studios. I'm putting 26 million into the full studios with green screens and everything. And we need the food with the cookery and everything like that. And I don't want to be made fun of for things that I grew up eating with, no matter how obscure they are. So, yeah, President Nixon loved the Carl's Jr. hamburger. Okay, it's out.
And I feel like it's all about connecting to my roots. There are a lot of things that I do that people don't like or don't think that's normal, but it makes me happy. And I feel like when I'm happier, I'm more productive and I can provide that to people.
Yeah. And our website is at InsideThePresidentsCabinet.com. So that's our show, Inside the President's Cabinet. We do it. Of course, you've seen us probably on CBS in Charlotte, but we also bring that show on stage. And I was just wondering if you wanted to catch one, we have one about a famous candy bar, the Baby Ruth Candy Bar.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right, let's have some laughs then today, man. Okay. People are here to be entertained, and this is really good content. So I know you allowed me to share my screen today. So what I'll do is let me bring up one of our many shows. And we'll take a look at it right there. And I think it might be helpful. It looks like, yeah. Okay. Can you see that screen okay now? Let's check the sound with you. Make sure you can hear the sound. Back with you again for another episode. Can you hear that sound in Charlotte?
Perfectly.
Okay. All right. I'll let it rip and I'll make it go large screen.
So featuring this time the Clevelands and Grover Cleveland and two First Ladies this time at the Presidential Culinary Museum for another episode of Inside the President's Cabinet. Oh my gosh, guys, who knew? I never knew that the Baby Ruth candy bar is actually really named after Baby Ruth Cleveland. For all the time, I always thought that this was named after Babe Ruth, who actually did sue the Curtis Candy Company in court for copyright and trademark infringement and lost that whole court case. The Curtis Candy Company will say that this candy bar, the Baby Ruth candy bar, really is named after the baby. This is the first baby born in New York of President Grover Cleveland and his new wife, the 21-year-old. First baby ever born in the White House to a president of the United States. Baby number 2, Esther. Okay, 5 children total, but also only president in American history ever to serve 2 terms as the president of the United States, non-consecutively. Okay, who's the only president to win the popular vote 3 times in a row? And people often wonder, like, well, how could you do that? How's that possible? He does. He wins the popular vote 3 times in a row. He will win, become president as a bachelor, get married in office after about 1.5 years, and then run again and lose, and run a 3rd time and win. So that's how he pulls it off. Here, take notice of the champagne glass with the silver spoon next to it. At one of the first White House state dinners, his sister, Rose Cleveland, the First Lady of the United States, who is standing in for her bachelor brother, notices all of the males pick up their spoons and they are tapping the champagne glasses and where are all the glasses for the women? And one of our butlers tells the First Lady, Madam, we don't do that. And why is that? It's inappropriate conduct, madam, for women to imbibe in alcoholic beverages in public. Oh, it's inappropriate, is it? And it's like that at every setting. Yes, ma'am. And also for the white wine and the red wine glass. Oh, very... Okay, he says, man, I turned white, purple, almost green, and back to white again, talking and trying to explain this to her. Is not his sister a suffragette up in her brother's grill in the morning in the office? As soon as she comes in, Grover says, ha, sis, I've already heard about these crazed ideas. You want to use sparkling apple cider for the champagne portion, and Dr. Graham Welch's brand new non-alcoholic grape juice for the white wine glasses, and we could use apple juice for the white wine. No, never. Do you understand it would rip this country apart if we had photographs in the papers of women holding even the shape of one of those glasses? Do you know what it would do? We can never do that. That's not why I'm here to talk at all. No, that's not. I wanted to let you know it's the First Lady's prerogative to ban all alcohol from the White House. And so this is a huge battle at one of the first White House dinners.
How do you like that, Dylan? She banned alcohol.
I don't like that. To be honest.
That'll fix that problem, right?
Yeah.
Is the only lesbian First Lady in history of the United States that has been proven. Rose Cleveland, Okay. So I often get asked during my speeches on stage and whatnot, hey, what about FDR's wife, Eleanor Roosevelt? Was she? Listen, proven. Okay. So that means we have love letters and you can read them on Google and AOL and Bing and, proven. Okay. Without a doubt. All right. So she will actually leave the United States and goes to live in Italy, where you'll find her buried today in the English cemetery. She lives with two women. One of them is a millionaire. And you'll see that this is where she finishes out the rest of her life. Prolific writer, published numerous books, speaks several languages, and was also a president of a university. The president's sister, the first lady, Rose Cleveland, before he gets married and brings on the second Mrs. Cleveland, the first lady. Down on the bottom, I know a lot of our viewers may have noticed the glass that is turned upside down. And this is because his new young wife, 28-year difference when Grover gets married in the White House. So quite the age difference. And do you not think that she mentions to Big Grove, okay, Uncle Cleve, as they affectionately called him? He says, what is it, Frank? That was his pet nickname for his wife, Frances Folsom Cleveland. She says, Grove, don't be surprised if I keep turning my water glass upside down at dinners. And this is a silent protest. She is going to allow the men to drink the alcohol in front of women, but she will turn her glass upside down. And you might become embroiled in the controversy if you're at a White House state dinner when she looks at you or points and says, you have a choice to make. You are either a staunch conservative and you're going to leave your glass up, or you are going to join these slack-jawed people who are liberals and drool all over their pant leg and dress while they're foaming at the mouth and turn it upside down. And if you turn your glass upside down, it's because you believe women should have the right to vote. Okay? So this is how they brand and label people and cause a huge consternation and fracas at dinners often. Folks, you may have also seen the $1,000 bill. It does feature Grover Cleveland. He is on our $1,000 bill.
Hey, Dylan, don't you have one of those, a couple of $1,000 bills?
I wish I did.
They're worth a lot more today. They're like $4,000 to $6,000.
Wow.
And difficult to get a hold of one today. They're worth between $4,000 and $6,000. Okay, well, saying goodbye from inside the president's cabinet, and another wonderful episode today featuring the Clevelands.
Okay, Dylan, back to you then. I hope that was pretty entertaining for all the viewers out there worldwide. A lot of people have never known that about the candy bar, and that it's actually named after his daughter, Ruth. But here in Grover, North Carolina, interesting Jeopardy trivia for you. During the parade many years, President Cleveland has ridden on a float, waving, and Baby Ruth is usually down in front of his young wife, who's dressed in a bustle dress, and throwing out thousands of Baby Ruth candy bars around the streets of Grover during the Christmas parade. So a little bit of Jeopardy trivia there.
And that's what makes it so confusing. I'm so glad you played this video for a lot of the viewers, because it clears up a lot of the mystery surrounding history.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I did actually think the candy bars were named after the baseball player.
Yes, that was a big court case also. Very good that you bring that up. Otto Schneibel, the owner of the Curtis Candy Company, actually sues Babe Ruth, is battling with him in court when he sues him. And they try to prove with a lot of money and a lot of extensions and delays that they're ripping off Mr. Ruth. And one of the most interesting questions when you're sitting there reading the transcript, because I love to read through pages, it's like 50, 60, 70, 80 pages of transcript. At one point, the attorney says, Mr. Schneibel, and if you would look at the jury when you answer this, please, Your Honor, can he be directed to look at the jury? Oh, yes, please look at the jury, Mr. Schneibel. This is the guy that owns the candy bar. Invented it in his kitchen, was often considered to be an idiot ass. Okay. His wife often is stopped at markets and stuff and says, like, what is the hubby doing? Is he still making like candy bars with wax paper in the kitchen? Or did he actually get like a real job finally, like a man? And she's like, no, he's still making the candy bars and stuff with the Curtis Candy Company. He loves what he does, you know. Okay, right, sure, honey. So he goes on to become a massive millionaire. But during the court case, the question is asked at any time when you rented the sign that was flashing above Wrigley Stadium, okay, the Baby Ruth candy bar, exactly over where Mr. Ruth had come out and one day pointed his baseball bat where he was going to hit that grand slam home run. And that's exactly where he hit it. And the ball landed exactly there. And you rented that rooftop for the sign, sir. Did that have anything to do with Mr. Ruth? No, it didn't. Thank you. What's the next question? At any time, did you discuss with your board? It says actually a 2-minute silence ensued in the courtroom where Mr. Schneibel did not answer the question and the judge ordered him to answer the question. Did you consider Mr. Ruth's fame? Yes, we did.
Oh.
Babe Ruth lost that case.
Wow.
Lost a lot of money. Okay. And they said it's too close to Mr. Ruth. Babe Ruth, baby Ruth, it's too close. And they're like, how could it be named after the kid when the kid has died? The kid died many years ago, Your Honor. So how could it actually? He's like, well, the kid was very famous. The kid had a beautiful coin minted with her appearing on the front of it for the Chicago Exposition. She had music that people dance at balls and a waltz named after her. I mean, come on. We thought it was a dead ringer. It was always named after her. Everything they're trying to do here is actually to rip off Mr. Schneibel. This is what Mr. Ruth is doing. He's trying to rip off a little small business. And so Babe Ruth lost that case, Dylan. Yeah. And then, you know who owns the candy bar now? Nestle.
I'm not surprised.
Nestle of Switzerland bought it. And when I say that they made a lot of money, yeah, they were even asking, and exactly how much at 10 cents a piece are you selling of them per month? He's like, Your Honor, we're selling several million per month right now, about 5 to 10 million. So I often tell people, like, get out a calculator on your phone and do, like, if you're selling them at 5 cents and you're making 2.5 cents on each bar, run that on the numbers like times 5 and 10 million.
Mm-hmm.
And think about that candy bar is sold all over the world. When I lived in Japan, I saw that candy bar in the damn school. Okay. So right next to Hershey, right next to Almond Joy, Milky Way, all the things, Three Musketeers, that you and I have known about and heard about. So
yeah,
it's a lot of dough, bro.
That is a lot of dough.
For a clown in his kitchen making candy bars with wax paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the lesson there is do not allow people to get in your head and make fun of you. Like Spanx, that lady, when she come home every day, she said, Sarah, she had to go get neighbors from 3-4 houses all around because the whole front door was covered with 50 to 60 cases from 3 UPS deliveries of Spanx. And she's become, a multimillionaire now. But she had to and then she said it took a month to open all the boxes and take the orders and put them in little boxes and ship them out for the Spanx all over the world.
That's amazing.
Do not let people make fun of you and talk you out of your dreams.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like for me, it's just only giving me strength. Just goes to show they don't know me.
Exactly. The salary is the bribe they offer you to give up your dreams, is what Warren Buffett says that.
So I just have a closer question for you.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to know if you could describe 3 presidents based on their favorite meals. What flavor would you use to describe those presidents?
Yeah, so actually, I'll start with Lincoln and say cherry. People would send pies to him all the time, and they put L with a fork into the top.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, food that comes to the White House, we throw it in a dumpster and light it on fire now. You can't be having all these pies show up. We used to accept food gifts all the time, but you can't. People want to put stuff in there like strychnine and needles, and so you can't even. We've had people ask, well, why wouldn't you at least bring those foods over to the food bank? It's like, because you can't, because you don't know what's in there. Okay, you can't do that. Okay, so thank you so much for the suggestion. But yeah, and then I'll say Hillary Clinton. I know she wasn't a president, but favorite food mango. We often serve her mango salad dressing at events. For the past 3 months in Washington, D.C., we have served her salad dressing at every event I do. Thousands of people have eaten my mango salad dressing vinaigrette that I invented. And another big one I'll mention is Trump. When I first went to one of Don's clubs, I had the famous Ivanka Trump salad.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have been serving that from Chicago to LA to New York to Washington, D.C. to Miami to Houston to Seattle to San Diego. Everybody loves these two, the Trump and the Clinton dressings.
Mm-hmm.
So they're pretty much on every table, Dylan, when we roll out the salad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And thank you so much. Great questions today.
Oh, I just want to ask too, is there anything else you would like to add that we haven't shared for the viewers?
Yeah, I would just like to remind folks again, if you enjoy our shows and you think they're funny, you like them, they're short, you can watch them on a cell phone, tablet. Most of them are 4 to 8 minutes long at InsideThePresident'sCabinet.com. And we really appreciate the work. My wife and I are both disabled and injured veterans. So when we get calls, hey, could you come out we're going out to the Biltmore Resort in Phoenix in August. Could you be a keynote speaker at our event? And we want you to do a whole dinner and everything. We're just really appreciative and thankful for the work.
And we're very appreciative that you were able to conduct this interview with me. I really value our time, and I feel like we've all learned a lot of historical lessons.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you to TBC InTV Network, tbc-intv.com. And thank you to you, Dylan.
No problem, I mean. And with all that, I'm signing off. My name is Dylan Mitchell with TBC InTV News. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.